Hello, once again, welcome back to Absolutely Not for the Meek. I bring you a wrenching story of single mothers who are being faced with eviction. These courageous women who have been shouldering the responsibilities of both parents are now facing an uncertain future as they are being forced out of their homes. Amidst the ongoing pandemic, the financial strain on these mothers has become unbearable, leading to missed rent payments and subsequent eviction notices. Unbelievable. This news highlights the pressing need for support and resources to ensure the stability and well-being of these vulnerable families. It is a reminder that we must come together as a community to address the challenges faced by single mothers and work towards providing them with the assistance they need to secure stable housing and brighter future. Thank you for watching. Absolutely Not for the Meek, and I'm out.
Right now at 11, the Oakland mothers who illegally took over a home in November are now evicted. But while their occupation is over, they say their fight for housing is not. We're there as the Alameda County Sheriff's Department rolled to force those mothers out. Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laura Garcia.
And I'm Marcus Washington. Now we brought you live breaking coverage of the eviction as it was happening this morning on Today in the Bay. And we're still out there with team coverage for you this morning. NBC Bay Area's Pete Dorados has response from the developer that owns that property. But we begin with Chris Sanchez and more on the eviction from the mothers and the sheriff's perspective. Chris?
Well, good morning to you, Marcus and Laura. Two of those moms are at the Santa Rita jail. The house is now boarded up with plywood. The eviction notice is pasted to the front door, but the moms say that they are now lawyered up and they're ready to continue their fight for housing. Alameda County Sheriff's deputies used a battering ram to get into 2928 Magnolia Street at 5:30 this morning. Two of the moms who illegally occupied the home in November were taken out in cuffs along with one other person. Supporters mobilized, and within 30 minutes, there were hundreds of people on the street. At one point, a community activist was shouting down deputies who were dressed in fatigues, armed with AR-15s, and stationed with armored vehicles. The one mom who was not arrested, Dominique Walker, told us they anticipated the eviction and sent the children somewhere safe. She says people should be appalled at the Alameda Sheriff's Department's tactics.
Our tax dollars went to this extreme force to evict mothers and children at 5 o'clock in the morning. We are saying no.
Alameda County Sheriff spokesman Ray Kelly says this was not the typical eviction.
They had come up with a system and a way to secure those doors to make them difficult for us to enter the home. So we could not enter the home traditionally with a key or using a locksmith. They were fortified in such a way that we had to use a ram and a tremendous amount of force to get through and defeat the mechanisms that they had put in place.
I should mention that though the moms had so much support out here in person, numbering in the hundreds, there are quite a few people who are sounding off on social media saying that the moms were squatters and that it was time for them to go from a home they took over illegally and that never belonged to them. In Oakland, Chris Sanchez, NBC Bay Area News.
A lot of people saying a lot on social media about this, Chris. Thank you.
And you know, this morning we're also getting reaction from the developers, the actual homeowners behind this Oakland property. NBC Bay Area's Pete Dorados joins us live from Oakland with detail on their side of the story. Pete?
Yeah, good morning to you, Laura. Yeah, we're hearing from the other side. Sam Singer, he is a spokesperson for Wedgwood Properties. Of course, there's been a lot of back and forth on this issue over the past couple of months, but in the end, he says that the property group is glad that this ended peacefully. Now, we did have an interesting conversation a couple hours ago where Singer says the company actually offered to meet with the moms despite the fact that he said they were illegally squatting inside of this home on Magnolia in Oakland. In fact, he says that they broke into the home just days before Wedgwood gained legal possession of the home. They actually purchased it back in July. Now, despite this, the property company claims that they offered to pay the shelter for the women for 2 months, and he said that they would pay for any moving costs. Of course, this was an offer, as we reported, that the mothers in this called insulting. Now, while the company says that they sympathize with the moms, they say this is they're saying that at the end of the day, they didn't feel that it was the best strategy.
It's a violent, unsuccessful strategy to forcibly take and break into somebody else's home. This is not the way to solve homelessness. The way to address this issue is to work with government, with corporations like Wedgwood, with nonprofits, and to try to find a solution to help people who are homeless, to help people with mental health, and people who have drug abuse issues.
Now, as far as what's next for the home that you guys are taking a live look at here in Oakland, they say that the restoration will be done by a Southern California nonprofit who they say work with at-risk youth, and he says that they do plan to work with local craftsmen in Oakland as well. Reporting live, Pete Serratus, NBC Bay Area News.
Our investigative unit has been covering this story since the beginning. You can watch all of our reports at NBCBayArea.com.